Hello children, this video is the continuation of the previous video under the heading of Transformation of Sentences, Chapter 10 in your English language book for class 8. The subheading over here or the subtopic what we are going to deal over here is interchange of affirmative and negative sentence. That means over here we are going to study the change from affirmative sentence to negative sentence and negative sentence to affirmative sentence. So affirmative sentence is a sentence which affirms something. Got? It does not contain any negative word like no, not, never. Whereas negative sentence contains words like no, not, never in their formation. So let's understand with the help of few examples. The first example that we have is Brutus loved Caesar. This is a affirmative sentence. Now this sentence I am going to change it to a negative sentence without changing the meaning. Brutus was not without love for Caesar. That means both these sentences, they do not mean different, they both mean the same, but in the second sentence over here I have used the word not and I have made it a negative sentence. Let's see two more examples from the exercise. So example 2 from the exercise, he is sometimes foolish. So this is a affirmative sentence. Now this affirmative sentence I am going to change it to negative, just as he is not always wise, making this a negative sentence. So let's see the third example. Nobody was absent. Over here can you see no? No makes it a negative sentence. Now I have to change it to an affirmative sentence. So everybody was present. The meaning did not change. Can you see this? I have not changed the meaning. So this way only this exercise, these two exercises will be done. So your homework is exercise 64 and 65, 1 to 5 in your copy, which is also mentioned there in your study material. Got? The next subtopic what we are going to deal over here is interchange of interrogative and assertive sentence. That means over here we are going to change an interrogative sentence to an assertive sentence and assertive sentence to an interrogative sentence. But before that we should know what's an assertive sentence and what's an interrogative sentence. So assertive sentence is a sentence which makes any statement or assertions. It is also called a declarative sentence. Whereas any sentence which asks a question is called an interrogative sentence. Now with this we will move ahead and we will see a few examples and try to understand. Let's see the first example. When can their glory fade? A question mark is there. So this is an interrogative question. It is asking you a question. Now their glory can never fade. That means both these mean the same. We have changed this to assertive sentence. The meaning has not changed. So that has to be kept in mind. Let's see another example from the exercise. Shall I ever forget those happy days? Can you see shall I? It's a question over there. A question mark. So it's an interrogative sentence. Now this interrogative sentence we are going to change it to assertive sentence. I shall never forget those happy days. So this is a assertive sentence. The meaning did not change. Let's see one more example from the exercise. That was an example to be followed. It is an assertive sentence. There is no question mark. Nothing is being asked. Now I am going to change it to an interrogative sentence. Was there any example to be followed? Or was that an example to be followed? It's a question mark. So this is an interrogative sentence. In this way, these two exercises That's exercise 66 and 67 can be done. So you do question numbers 1 to 5 in both these exercises. They're in your copy. Did you get? The next subtopic what we are going to study is interchange of exclamatory and assertive sentence. So over here we are going to change the exclamatory sentence to assertive sentence and assertive to exclamatory sentence. But before that we should know what's an exclamatory sentence and what's the assertive sentence. So exclamatory sentence is any sentence which expresses a strong feeling, just as how cold it is, how beautiful is the day. Got? Whereas assertive sentence, as I have already told you earlier, it's any sentence which shows any assertion or any statement. It is also called a declarative sentence. Over here, we are going to change exclamatory sentence to assertive sentence and vice versa. So let's understand with the help of few examples. Let's see the first example. How beautiful is night? Can you see an exclamatory sentence over here? This is an exclamatory sentence. Exclamatory mark is there. Now this exclamatory sentence, I have to change it to assertive sentence without changing the meaning. Night is very beautiful. Got? Let's see two more examples from the exercise, which will make it easier for you to solve this exercise. Let's see the second example. If only I had a good horse. Can you see one exclamatory mark is there? So this is an exclamatory sentence. When I change it to assertive, it becomes, I wish I had a good horse. This is an assertive sentence. Now this time we are going to change from assertive sentence to exclamatory sentence. He leads a most unhappy life. This is an assertive sentence. Now I am going to change it to an exclamatory sentence. What an unhappy life he leads. This is an exclamatory sentence. And in this way only all the questions there in that exercises, these two exercises will be done. Got? So in this exercise 68 and 69, you will do question numbers 1 to 5 in both the exercises in your copy. Got? The next point or the next subtopic what we are going to study is interchange of one part of speech for another. One part of speech for another. Do you know what are the 8 parts of speech? Noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, interjection, conjunction and preposition. So over here, from one part of speech to another we are going to replace without changing the meaning. This exercise is having 5 subparts. So we are going to deal one by one. Let's see the first question where they have asked you to replace nouns by verbs. Over here we are going to replace noun by verbs. So they rejected all our proposals. Let's see this first example. They rejected all our proposals. What is proposals over here? A thing, a noun. Got? Now here this proposal we have to change it to a verb, an action doing word. So they rejected all that we proposed. Proposed becomes a verb. Got? I did not change the meaning. So that has to be kept in mind. So the next subpart over here is replace the adverbs by verbs. That means you have adverbs in the question, you have to change it to verb. Got? You know what's an adverb? An adverb is a word which qualifies the verb. Got? So let's understand with one example. They welcomed the good news most joyfully. Welcomed how? Joyfully. So joyfully is a adverb. Now this joyfully you have to change it to a verb in the answer. So they rejoiced. Joyfully I am changing to rejoiced. They rejoiced most at the good news. Over here this rejoiced becomes a verb. In this way I have changed adverb to a verb. So in this way, this exercise can be done. So from this exercise, in exercise 70, there is subpart A, B, C, D, E. So from A and B, you do question numbers 1 to 3 in both these exercises in your copy. Got? This is very important exercise, so you do it. Got? The next what we are going to replace is, we are going to replace verbs and adjectives by corresponding nouns. Over here, if we are having verbs and adjectives in the question, we are going to replace it by a corresponding noun. Noun means a thing. So let's see one example over here from the exercise. The best way to be healthy is to be temperate in all things. Now in this sentence, what is that verb and adjective is healthy and temperate? Got? This we are going to change it to a noun. So the best way to maintain health, healthy health, is to observe temperance, temperate, temperance, thing, in all things. So we have changed it to a noun. Got? So we have replaced this verb and adjective by a noun in this exercise, that is the third part of exercise 70C. So in this, the homework what you have is exercise 70C, question numbers 1 to 3 in your copy. So do it. Got? The next what we are going to replace is, we are going to replace nouns and adverbs by adjectives. So whatever questions we'll be having, in those questions, it may be that nouns are there or adverbs are there, and we have to change both of them to adjectives. So adjective is a word which qualifies a noun. Just as when we say a good boy, boy is a noun, good is an adjective. Got? So let's see one example. He was admittedly clever, but he evidently lacked industry. Admittedly and evidently, both had verbs. We are changing it to adjective now. Got? So it was an admitted fact. The fact is described as admitted, that he was clever, but he was evident, but it was evident that he lacked industry. So we have changed this sentence from a noun or an adverb to an adjective. We did not change the meaning. That has to be kept in mind. In this way, this exercise will be done. So from this exercise, that is exercise 70D, you do question numbers 1 to 3 in your copy. Got? The next we are going to replace the nouns and adjectives by adverbs. So we have the questions containing nouns and adjectives. We are going to change it to adverbs. Let's see one example from the exercise. By a careful analysis of these substances, you will see that they differ in essence. Got? Now these two we are going to change it to a adverb. By carefully, careful becomes carefully analyzing these substances, you will see that they are essentially different. Essence changes to essentially. Both are changed to adverb ending with ly. In this way, this exercise can also be done. So from this exercise, that is exercise 70E, you will do question numbers 1 to 3 there in your copy. So with this, we come to the end of this lesson. I hope you have understood and will be able to do the exercise by your own. Thank you.